busier salon, or if you double book or anything like that? What is kind of the flow here? Do you guys double book? Do you have assistants?
Triple book.
Triple book, yeah. So it's easy to get like very, very like, okay, let's get the root on, okay, and then, you know, and half the time, you know, I stayed very busy up until like last week, basically. So I understand what it's like to be like, oh, okay, well, Diane's coming in. Like, she has never been anything other than a 77/02 in the last 5 years that I've done her hair. So, and she's always on time. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pre-mix, you know, and I'm like measuring, and I'm like, and there she is. Come on, sit down, Diane. How are the kids? Right? So this is just to help you guys remember to like slow down. This is the most profitable time of the year, right? So I want to make sure that you guys make the most that you can. So, and I like money. I'm sure you guys do too. Everybody says they get into hair because they just love hair so much, but you guys like money. So like you really do, or you wouldn't be here. So awesome. So you guys can follow me. Oh, that's my old handle. But you guys can follow me on, if you want Robin Spalding hair, I'll show you my new Wella focused handle as well. I encourage you to always follow Wella Education. That'll be a great resource for you guys. Everybody does Instagram, I'm guessing. Does anybody do TikTok? I feel like, oh, we don't do TikTok. I'm just thinking anybody that looks under 30 looks like they're TikTokers. Okay, awesome. So Wella Education is a great resource for, you know, all things like what's trending right now, especially, but I feel like on TikTok specifically, if you guys want to go down that rabbit hole, there are a lot of like trending looks as well. So I'm gonna go around the room and get to know you guys a little bit better. I'm gonna ask you what your favorite holiday movie is, because Halloween was couple of days ago, so let's just kick off the holiday season, like throw all the decorations in the trash and just, it's Christmas now. So I'm actually going to start with you. Just tell me your names, and I want to know what you want to get out of this class, and then also your favorite holiday movie.
I'm Carissa, and I would like to at least be able to pay attention 80%. I brought my daughter with me, so.
Yeah, she seems like a good kid. Favorite holiday movie?
Probably Rudolph, the original Rudolph. I love that one every year. It just makes you think of being a kid again.
Awesome. Thanks for being here.
My name's Brenda. I have a class. I'd like to just get like some new thinking concepts on glossing and stuff, so that I don't just keep using the same stuff over and over. And my favorite holiday movies is the Santa Claus series.
Oh, I like that one with Tim Allen.
Yeah.
That's good. So,
I'm Sarah.
hi, Sarah.
I think like what Brenda said, like I kind of get stuck on using the same toner, so maybe kind of opening my mind a little bit more to different formulations. I'm a Halloween girl. It's still Halloween in my head, but I guess I'll say the Grinch is my favorite.
Oh, good one. Thanks.
Jennifer. I'm just always looking for new adaptations to what we're currently doing, new verbiage to excite us to add something on. And I would say anything Charlie Brown. The Great Pumpkin, the Thanksgiving feast.
That's a good one. Yeah. Awesome. Okay.
And my name's Yancy. I'm just excited to get more into depth with like the Colortouch, Shinefinity line. See what more, go into depth with that. My favorite holiday movie, I like the Home Alone scene.
Oh, so good. Awesome.
I'm Christy, and I'm looking forward to this class. You know, we're moving into more warm tones, and I've been like an Illumina 960 for a long time. So I'm like slowly transitioning, you know, where all of my clients are going warmer. So here to see what tips and what tones you love that are the new trends coming out.
Awesome. Favorite holiday movie?
Probably any like Netflix holiday romance one's my
Like
favorite.
the Hallmark movies.
Yes.
And my favorite holiday movie is 8 Crazy Nights with Adam Sandler.
Yep. Very nice one. That one's funny. I watch it every once in a while. That's a good one. Awesome. Back here.
My name's Hannah. I think just trying to kind of like what everyone else kind of said, just not staying in the same like rut that you kind of get in with the toners and formulations that you like.
Yeah.
And then staple in my house has always been Christmas with the Cranks.
Oh, good one too. A lot of funny movies. Awesome.
My name's Raylan. I'm looking to get out of this, just like modern glossing and toning, and I'm still working on formulation of newer, so just everything like Sam said. And then my favorite movie would be Home Alone. Forever, it's been Home Alone.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I like that everybody kind of wanted something different out of this class as well. I like to just kind of ask to get a good sense of like, okay, what are you guys expecting? Because I'm here to serve and support you guys. And if you are a little bit newer to Wella Professional in general, you know, this is holiday glossing. However, like if you do have Wella questions, like I'm always happy to, you know, answer them as well. You know, we'll have a little bit of downtime where I'll have you guys do some hands-on. So that might be the best time if it's not pertaining to like the topic at hand. But don't be afraid to ask questions throughout the class too, just so that you guys are making sure that you're getting like a good understanding of things. So a little bit about me. This is my new handle. Hopefully you guys can see my slides okay. It's mostly for me to keep me on track because I'm super ADD, as most of you guys might be. It's sort of like part of the profession. But so I go under heavy metal hairstylist. That's where you guys can add me. That's where I'm going to share most of my Wella knowledge, formulas, some of the fun things that I like to do. I'm a salon owner. I'm a Wella educator. I have been for about 8 years. I've been doing hair for 20. I got my Wella Master Color Expert about 3 years ago, and I'm also a wife and a mom. So I have 2 teenagers and a rescue dog named Skeeter. And I've been married 16 years as of, it was 16 years as of last month. So anyways, I'm trying to stay very on top of that. There gets to be a time where you're like, how long has it been now? So anyways, that's a little bit about me, and my favorite holiday movie is Christmas Vacation. So I love, Chevy Chase. Yeah, I like train wreck movies where it's like it just goes from bad to worse, and then it gets better, and then it's bad, and then there's a squirrel in the tree. So that's the kind of chaos I like. Just really like lighthearted and hilarious. So anyways. So without further ado, let's go on. So our agenda today is we're going to go over current winter trends. We're going to talk about how to have effective consultations like during this time, so we can kind of slow down so that we can be very present with our guests and maximize this time with them as well. We'll talk about our product choices. Formulating again with Wella, we'll kind of touch on that just to help you guys out, and then we'll do a little hands-on portion. So as far as what is trending in fall and winter of 2024, what do you guys see as trending? Like, what do you guys see as trending?
I feel like it's been like the bronze, like very warm.
What are your clients saying as they come in? Like, are you starting to see like what they're bringing into you shift a little bit?
They bring in like Jennifer Aniston inspired photos, like very warm.
Yeah.
Even like back in the day from the Friends, we've seen that a lot too.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of resurgence of like older styles, right?
Like that Neapolitan or whatever, looks like Kelly Clarkson from back in the day, very chunky kind of blocking that they're doing now.
Yeah.
I've been seeing that online. I haven't had any clients, but I've seen it online.
That calico, that is so cool.
Yeah, we've done a couple of calico at the salon too. But again, it's inspired by like warm tones, right? So that's a little bit more on the creative side. But I'm seeing more of like those warm coppery tones, right? So clients are heavily searching for warm, rich hair colors, deep chocolate browns, expensive brunette shades, vibrant coppers. I've seen coppers come and they certainly have not gone anywhere. So there's a growing interest in hues that add warmth and dimension. So we're moving away from ashier looks. Like, can I get an amen? So I'm like so excited for that because you just can't get somebody ashy enough. And it doesn't always look good on everybody, does it? What's cool about warmth is it tends to be like good for most. There's only a handful of people who can't handle like a touch of warmth, but it tends to be best for our guests. So this is spiking right now in the colder months. So these trends suggest that offering services in these shades could cater well to consumer behavior this winter. And then what about our current consumer behavior, right? So consumer behavior means like it's holiday time. Like what are we seeing now, just in general? Like as far as spending goes, as far as like how, I don't know, how people are preparing. What kind of conversations are you guys having so far in the salon? I think we're getting ready, like we gotta get over this election first.
Right now for me, it's a lot of, I need to figure out how I can stretch this or how can we save me money.
Okay, I like that.
A lot of that.
Yeah, I like that. What else? Are you guys hearing anything else?
I'm booking for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
So you're booking?
They're trying to time it
Yeah.
accordingly so that they have their hair done for both.
Yes, yeah. Do you feel like this year they're going back to more of that, like, you know, consistent behavior versus maybe years past, or do you feel like it's been sort of the same this year as all the other years? Just curious. Your demographic's going to be a little different than mine as well.
I think people are here where I feel like the years before they were on the, like because of the hurricane, they were here for that year, and then the next year they went to go visit all their kids and travel, and then this year it seems like a lot of them are in town. Like they came October and like we're not leaving. I feel like years before they would kind of be in and out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like more people are staying in town for sure. Do you think that affects like why they're coming in more frequently for their hair appointments, or? I think sometimes security feels good in an uncertain time, and having you guys as like their go-to spot every 6 weeks. There's a lot to be said about that. So even though maybe we're trying to like stretch our dollar, right? There are some things that people don't really sacrifice because it makes them feel safe and good, right? So the splurge might be really the nails over coming in and having a relationship with you every 6 weeks for their hair, right? I think it depends on how you spin it for each person and what your clientele is like. So I see a lot of like wanting comfort, safety, security, and then wanting to see the value in what they spend. So it's not necessarily sometimes what they're spending it on. It's more about like, am I getting the most bang for my buck? So I think every year is a little bit different. So I think, yeah, the hurricane probably made a big impact in like our area of town. I don't like to go on like those Facebook groups where they're like, is it slow over there? It's slow over here, because they could be like in, California or Iowa or wherever. And we have such a different demographic. We have a lot of seasonal. We do have a lot of people here. I find in my area, we didn't have a lot of seasonal, but the seasonal we did have, they decided to like stay long term, where they're like, we're selling our house up north, we don't care, like we're just, so it's kind of interesting to see year by year like how things change. Whereas like 10 years ago we followed the whole like, well, it's Christmas time, so everybody just spend your money, and I don't know. So I think it's always good to discuss that. So I always like to pull stats and stuff, so this is like something I go between Google and ChatGPT for everything. But so during the holiday season, clients are more willing to spend on luxury hair services to look and feel their best for festive events. So I think the festive events piece for us right now, like I'm not seeing a lot of like holiday parties and things like that. There might be like a few office parties or like low-key like events getting together. But I still am sort of like sitting in that comfort and security piece where it's like, if I look good, I feel good. So this is still a strategic opportunity for stylists, as existing loyal clients are proven to be 50% more likely to try new services and spend 67% more than new clients. So by focusing on your established client base with enticing holiday packages and upsells, you can maximize both bookings and revenue while offering the value that deepens client relationships. Right? So what we're saying here is that a lot of what you're going to be looking at is how we can enhance the experience for our existing clientele. Those are going to be the guests that we more likely target whenever we're looking at like holiday upselling. So I like adding on glosses. Obviously, this is like a super easy one for us in our salon. And I just did like a little bit of math based on a stylist who works 5 days. Does anybody work less than 5 days, 4 days? Okay, most people are on like the 4-day week. Cool. Anybody like under 4 days? You? Yeah. Okay. How many days do you work?
3 days.
3 days? Okay, cool. So I just did a little bit of math based on I did a stylist who works 5 days. None of the girls in my salon work 5 days. We all work 4 days now. So it's like, but you still have like that Tuesday, they just alternate. So if you're only adding 4 glosses on a week though, that's how I decided to do it. Because let's say that you're like, I'm gonna look at my book and see who would be great for a gloss add-on service. I don't know how much else glosses are, but I did it based on like, let's say it's $25 for a gloss. What is Jill's gloss here?
It'll range from 40 to 70.
Ooh, even better. Okay. Okay, well, let's do like a little bit of simple math. Let's say it's like $50, okay? Because on average between 40 and 75, it's gonna be, let's say 50 on the low end. So if you're adding 4 glosses a week, on that $25 range, it would have been 100. So it would be 200 weekly that you're adding to your service dollars, right? And then when you count, you guys take gratuity, is that correct? Okay, I will never get rid of gratuity. So a tip typically is about 20%, like on average. So you're looking at 20% more in your tips a week, right? So that means $40 extra in tips a week if you're only selling for extra glosses onto your existing clientele, right? So that means 16 glosses in 1 month. Let's just say you're doing this for December. You're like, okay, I can probably nail like 4 people a week times 4 weeks at $50 for that gloss. You're going to end up with an extra $800 in services for the month. Okay, and I know you guys get commission and stuff. I still talk numbers anyways because my girls know what commission split they get. So it does add on to your service dollars. Do you guys do like sliding scale?
Hourly.
Hourly, okay. So how do we, does this look good for your, oh, okay. But you get your.
But you guys will have numbers to bring to Rob. When
That was like,
you get a raise.
everyone has numbers. Like you have to
Yeah.
meet so many goals in order to get to the next hour.
So
And
when
that's how
your
you get
numbers go
hourly.
up, then you can keep them consistently up.
I like
Then
that.
you
Oh, we're
can come
tracked
to him
every
and be
week.
like, look, I'm bringing this in. Like it's time for a raise.
So that's how it works. So
Yeah.
that service dollar does matter.
It
Your
does.
Sales do matter.
Okay.
One of our goals is service per guest.
Okay.
So if you add on a glaze or gloss, it helps your
Yeah.
service per guest. So that would be the direct number that would be
That's important.
helping.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do struggle with getting that 1.7.
Ah, okay.
The goal is 1.7 per guest.
So this would help you guys bring that back up. Okay. So this
Yeah.
is the sort of add-on service that you guys need to focus on to be able to bring up your numbers so that you can get a raise. I get it. I get it. We're commission as well, so it's like but I still talk numbers to my people because I'm like, they're not getting the full service, and I get that, but they also know like it takes this and this and this and this to run this, right? And do you really want to, like nobody in any other industry like goes, okay, cool, thank you for the money, and then just goes home. Like it's just we happen to see our service sales versus like other industries don't actually directly see like how much the company's bringing in. So it's just, it can always be like kind of a weird thing, but it's important to have goals because your success means the success of the company, and then it comes back to you guys again because you guys get amazing education and great opportunities that you wouldn't get elsewhere. So I mean, this is like the most supreme of locations as well. So like trust me, I've worked in all situations, and like I like the team dynamic hands down. So, and you guys, but given that, so you guys would be able to bring it to your boss and say, listen, here's now how much I made in December. What do you guys have to do, like a 3-month period? before you can start, or where do you start going? Like,
Depends where you are in the journey.
yeah, I gotcha.
But you get bonus if you hit all your goals.
Correct.
For
You
the
bonus
week.
every
So
day.
you-
For the payroll,
Every
right?
For the payroll, sorry,
Yeah.
for the 2 weeks.
That's great.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the goal would be to hit your numbers, so you bonus.
Okay, cool. Yeah, mine don't get a direct bonus, so you guys are doing better than us. We're a smaller company, so I can only do so much for my people. So, yeah, it sounds like y'all are okay taken care of, so that's good. And then you're getting your extra tip on top of that. So you guys are taking home your tips, right? Those are for you guys. Perfect. So if you're doing, like, let's say an extra 800 in services per month that you can actually show, then you're looking at another $160 in tips on average. So that's like on the low end. I feel like 20% is now lower, or as low as people typically get in tipping. So what I like to do is I like to pull up the schedule, see what I have. So this is just one of my stylist schedules that I grabbed. She's got like 2 haircut opportunities, and then she's got a regular root touch with like a face frame haircut, and then she's got like a half head highlight and a haircut. So those are all glossing opportunities where she can add on, because a gloss can be anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes at the shampoo bowl. It really is meant to be a quick add-on service. So you're not really cutting into a lot of your time behind the chair. And especially if you do see like, there's a 15-minute gap there. And this is Ed, and Ed is, you know, a sir, but Ed has great hair. And so like, we're really big into talking our guys too into like, you know, some sort of glossing, great coverage, something to just look like very seamless. So there's a lot of opportunities for glossing, for shifting like the existing base, or doing a little bit of like gussing up gray hair so that they don't look as gray. So we'll talk about a few opportunities there, but my biggest takeaway is like, I like for my people to look at their books every morning and just say like, okay, well, where do I have an opportunity here? Like, I know that I've talked in the past to Ed about maybe adding a little bit of gray coverage to his hair. I have a 15-minute gap. I'm just gonna say like, hey, I know you have holiday pictures coming up. Your grandkids are coming into town. You guys are gonna be out doing things. You've got a cruise coming up. You know, there's things that these people, because you guys have relationships with these returning guests, right? These are great opportunities to say like, hey, we can add on a gloss today. I would recommend this. It's gonna be about $50 extra, and it will only take another like 5 to 10 minutes. I find that people are more put out by time than money. So I do like to give them like what the time investment is, because if it means that they're still gonna get in and out in like under an hour, they're like, okay, yeah, that sounds great. Especially if you can sell extra benefits of glossing. So we'll go over with Shinefinity and Colortouch what that looks like. But I think it's really important to make yourself successful to just look at what you have going on. So let's talk about consultation. Why is consultation so important?
So you can deliver what they want.
Yeah.
They expected results or desired results.
Yeah, because needs change, right?
And sometimes we've all been there when you're like, they come in and they want to tell you something like, okay, I gotta go mix. And then they're halfway through and they're like, next time maybe we could, and you're like, I could have done that today if, instead of you telling me about your tennis game today, we could have talked about you wanted lowlights in your hair, or you want to be less ashy or whatever.
And what happens a lot, people come in, they're like, oh, how are you? How are the kids? What's going on? They like want to do a little chit chat first. It's okay, like, especially if these are returning guests, like I have no problem like just, you know, tapping them on the shoulder and being like, Sarah, I want to talk all about your kids. But I had this idea for you today, or I know last time you talked about doing something different, blah, blah, blah. Like I'd rather just interrupt them. Like, hey, before I go mix up our color and then we can get to chatting or whatever. Like I tell them like, listen, I want to catch up, but like, let me figure out what we're doing here today so I don't waste your, you know, not waste your time, but so that we're not eating up too much time. What would you like to, you know? So then I start the consultation. So I don't mind just kind of being like, hey, we'll talk about the kids. Yeah, I'll tell you all about it. But so a great consultation creates trust, it ensures loyalty, it covers your bases so that, yeah, you're not doing the next time dance, right? It eliminates sticker shock. I like to always talk price no matter what, just so people aren't like, what about last time? You know, even though you're like, we did something different. Like clearly we popped in foils this time and last time it was a root, but so I always just like reaffirm like, hey, you know, it's gonna be a little extra because we're popping in foils, or, you know, and then I always talk price if I am adding on a service as well. Okay, that's only going to be another, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it sets you apart from other stylists, because most people, whether they get a consultation or not, they don't think they get a consultation. And it's usually because it's like 3 minutes or less. They're just like, not that you should have this like long, extravagant consultation, but if you're not asking the right questions and you're just like, oh, we're just covering up price today, oh, okay, same as last time, that's not a consultation, right? So even if you just like make the conscious decision, like I'm going to spend at least 5 minutes with each person today, even though you see that, you know, just ask other questions and pull it out of them a little bit. Like, oh, okay, have you been working out in the garden? Have you been noticing that your hair's a little drier or anything like that? Just want to make sure that we're touching all of our bases today, that I'm giving you exactly what you need while you're in my chair. Just so you don't go home and go, oh, I should have told, you know, Brenda to do this with my hair. So this is our 3-step consultation. We want to, figure out the identity of our guest, right? So who is your client? 2, we want the destination. Where are they going, right? And then 3, service. How are we going to get there? Okay. So when you identify who this person is, we're going based on personality and lifestyle. So personality can mean what? What are some different personalities whenever you're thinking about what you're doing with their hair?
How bold they are as a person, like how they present themselves in their clothing.
Yeah.
Could help you decide if you're using a bolder statement in their hair or not.
Yeah, because sometimes, especially if it's a new client, they might come in and they have like auburn hair or something, and you're like, that's not really a bold client. But then come to find out, they've been asking for like fire red and they haven't been able to get it, right? And they're like, no, I am fiery. I do love, you know, and if they're coming in like dressed up and they've got like hot pink on, then you're like, I don't mind a little color, right? Cool, commitment and budget. So I always like to ask what their commitment is on their hairstyle. Like if you are gonna do something that's a little bit more like permanent, are they going to be able to come back in, right? Budget, I don't usually like to ask what people are willing to spend. I just kind of like get a little like, check the pulse with add-on services, right? And then if somebody's like, oh, I don't really want to do much this time, maybe next time we can go with the whole shebang, you know, we just kind of listen to that. And then hair analyzing, and then suitability. So analyzing the hair would be like what the hair can take, how absorbent the hair is, things like that. And suitability, again, like that client who's like loudest. And then skin tones, of course, because again, we're talking about clients who may be asking for warmer looks, and it is really great on most, you know, skin shades. However, sometimes not intensely warm. Like I don't look good with bronze hair. I don't look good in gold. I mean, it depends on the color. I can have like a touch of gold, but I'm not. It's a no. Destination. So again, is it a subtle change? Are we just looking at, you know, maybe shining up what they do have? Maybe they're feeling dull, you know, like I feel like with the water here, everything, it's very easy to feel like dull and drabby. Is this going to be a drastic change? And then are we looking at like gray management? And that can even be with somebody who does have existing gray. Maybe they're only a haircut client, but we can use a gloss to shine up what they currently have. We just keep it in the gray family, right? We just use it. We could even do a clear gloss for them. So again, choosing what salon services, what home care regimens they're going to use. So gloss is going to fade off a little bit quickly. And then product choices. Yeah, what are they doing at home? How often are they shampooing? Because that's going to help you, you know, decide whether or not a gloss is good for them. Cool. And we have plenty of great consultation tools on Pinterest. Who has a Pinterest? everybody and their mother. Okay, cool. So if you're ever like struggling with the consultation piece and you just need something to show people, Wella Professional on Pinterest is a great resource because we have like some tools as far as like, here's some coppers and reds, here's some blonde sheets, here's some brunettes, like some formulas, some inspiration. There's a lot of like, you know, services that you can actually give your clients like a little bit of like a preview of, you know, with our actual hair color. Like, hey, maybe we can decide something from this because this is directly from Wella Professional's color palette. I'm not saying it's going to be exactly like this, but the tonality and everything, it's like, okay, this is inspired by the color line that I use, you know, Wella Professional. So we'll talk about the difference between Shinefinity and Colortouch. Who likes one or the other? Like, who loves Shinefinity best? Like, what, that is their jam. We got one.
I love
Shinefinity.
I love it. It's hard because I find everything is ashy.
Cool. I like that takeaway. Who's diehard Colortouch? Like, I use Colortouch on everybody.
I think it's situational.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
I don't love one over the other. I
Yeah.
love them for situations or circumstances. And the fade off is different for both. So depending on what longevity I'm looking for, depends on what I'm.
That's good. That gives me a clearer idea of like how comfortable you guys are with both of the brands. I know you're still learning as well, but it's good to know because I'll come into the salons and they're like, we don't ever touch Shinefinity because one person had a scary result and they're like, never again. And then they're like, Nancy had a bad experience, so nobody touches Shinefinity anymore. You know,
I even use
stuff like that.
Shinefinity a lot as base colors and darker ones. For a lot of my guests that have like experienced cancer or have other issues, hair loss or something, to help cover their grays, I will go in level 5s and 4s and use that, and it does not like disappear. It stays.
That's great.
Like
That's a way I haven't really, I know some people do use Shinefinity a lot for like gray blending, and then they'll use heat and they get a lot of longevity out of it.
Yeah, exactly. I put it under Climason.
Yeah, I hadn't done it myself, but I hear
But
great
it works
things.
for a lot of like finer hair, like hair that like, or someone who's just nervous about chemicals,
Yeah.
but doesn't want
Absolutely.
to have gray hair.
Yeah.
Like,
But we gotta get rid of
we
them,
have
right?
this option.
That's good. Because Shinefinity, it tends to be like a long-lasting color glaze. It's a very clean formula. You're correct. So anybody who's very ingredient conscious, it has no ammonia, no silicones, no alcohols. This gives like completely no shift or lift or anything. So it does dive into the cuticle, but it doesn't shift the natural base, which is really nice. So it's non-damaging, and then it is ultra natural blend for the first signs of gray. So I typically find that people like to use this for gray blending for like men who are like, I don't want anybody to know that I color my hair at all, absolutely never. So and again, because it has more of a cooler result, it tends to pair well with gray hair as well.
What's the timing if you're doing gray? You're adding heat.
Well, heat gives intensity with Shinefinity, so I would say like I'd probably still leave it for 15 minutes. So Shinefinity can be left on for up to 20. After that, it just does nothing. It's non-progressive, so it just doesn't do anything.
The guy that I cover his gray with it, I leave it on for like 20 minutes. We do a full 20.
And you put it under Climason?
No, I just put it on.
Interesting.
For him, I don't add the heat because he's my home guest at the kitchen sink.
Is it your husband?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's a friend.
He's just a friend, a really good friend.
Cool.
It's getting interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a
How
really
many visits a week does he come?
Really good.
cool. So,
But he has been a long time client of mine. He used to come, KP.
KP.
Yeah. Possession. The possession. Like, when his grandmother was in the hospital and stuff, and I would come and do her hair on the side, he's like, oh, can I just come to the house? I'm like, sure.
Oh, I don't start any of that racket. I've
So
done
like, I
that.
keep my one.
Yeah, I've done that before in the past, and I'm like, never again. I mean, it is what it is. It's
He'll come
good.
in sometimes, but not very often.
Yeah, because he's got it good. He doesn't have to come up here if you don't feel like it. And so Colortouch is going to be better for like more intense vibrancy and shine. It's ammonia free, and then it has low shift, which is good because you can actually base pump slightly with it. If you're only looking for like half a shade difference, you know, you can go from a 5 to a 6 on somebody with virgin hair. So it's a really nice like low commitment color, but it gives up to 70% gray coverage as well, which is fantastic for those clients who are a little bit more ingredient conscious. They don't want ammonia, but they're looking to like 100% cover their grays. So typically we only preach up to 70% gray coverage, but it gets really good gray coverage, especially on my people who are like 50 to 25% gray. They do really well. Barely a gray hair in sight.
What's the base difference, meaning color?
Yeah.
Because I know like Illumina has more of a violet base. So what are the bases of these? Because I always forget.
Yeah, so Colortouch, just like KP, is like a warm brown base, but Shinefinity is more of a beige base. So
It's beige. Okay.
beige, yeah. So beige is still slightly warm, but it's almost more of like a pastel-y light brown, right? So any color that you pair with that is going to sort of take over that beige. You're going to get more of the true tonality of that tube of color. And it does tend to be a little bit softer and cooler compared to Colortouch. So Colortouch always has that brown background, that like warm brown that sort of like anchors differently and ensures more warmth, which is great, but it's also terrible if you're like, well, I don't want my color to feel brown. I really want, you know, more light, airy results or even cooler results. So I find Shinefinity, as far as like toning blondes, I really like it because you still have a lot of like, you don't totally like clear out your blonde, like you're not from root to tip like painting over it and making it all seem like one color. You're getting a lot of like those highs and lows. Yeah, the blonde can actually like kind of show through. So there's definitely some big key differences. So a lot of the benefits from Shinefinity is the shine, the zero damage. It's a nice gel cream consistency. So I really actually like it like at the shampoo bowl. It's very true to tone, again, because of that beige background. You get reliable color results. There's a balanced pH technology, which makes it like a lot more caring and more like a treatment for the hair. There's zero ammonia, zero silicones, and zero drying alcohols. And you'll notice like the color circle here, it does follow the same principles as all of the Wella Professional products, where you know you're still looking at the same levels of depth from 2 to 10. Only the 0 in front always indicates that there's like 0 lift, 0 damage. So it's really what you go for if you're like, okay, let's make this hair like shiny, let's like shift the tone just slightly. It fades off very gently. It's not gonna like pull and go real dark. So I really like that. And then you'll notice that like all of the tones tend to be a little more pastel and airy. So that's sort of to show like the light reflection of the brand. We've got a compact portfolio of shades. You guys use the boosters a little bit too?
Like a smidge.
Like a smidge, yeah. What are y'all's favorite tones in Shinefinity right now?
I've been liking the 9.3. I
So
like
you got the new shades?
Yes, I like the 9.3.8, and then I add the 9.3.
Okay.
That's my
Cool.
go-to. Because I find the 9.3.8, right, 9.3.8, I love it, but sometimes I'm like, oh,
Is it
it's toned it too much. Or not.
Is it 838
It'll be
or is it?
8.3.
Okay, cool. It tones it too much, like it's.
Like I feel like sometimes I wish it was a little more goldeny. Like I put it on thinking I'm gonna get like it might be I lifted it too much, but
more gold.
So now that I can add the 9.3, it just is like perfect.
I totally get it. The explanation to us as to like why it took so long to get like more gold shades is because apparently it's really hard to create like a gold color molecule without using direct dyes, and we've committed to like not having direct dyes in Shinefinity. I'm gonna be totally transparent. I have no idea why. It probably has something to do with like the way that it fades off or something, because direct dyes sort of sit on top of the cuticle. So I'm not really sure on that one, but that was what the explanation to us was. They were like, it's just really hard to make like a true gold without direct dye. I'm like, okay. So it's gotta be like a science thing. It wasn't like a lack of like need, because every Shinefinity class I would walk into, they'd be like, there's no gold. I'm like, I know, it's terrible. Like, we really need gold.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you guys have a few more shades for sure. Yeah, and these are the new Shinefinity shades. So we have 5-3, 7-3, and 9-3, which is great. And these can all process up to 20 minutes. And then we have 10-3-6, which is a new flash shade. I love 10-3-6 for my guests who like really need something to seal off their like raw blonde, but they're the type that don't like toners. You know, it's like you usually would just like purple shampoo them or something. You're like, okay, well, you're done. That drives like my younger stylists crazy, because they've only known a world where we tone, versus like when I was coming up as a stylist, we didn't really tone anybody. You just kind of like emulsify if it looked a little yellow, or you purple shampoo them. And, you know. So like people 20 years ago, they were used to that like super raw, you know, bleached out like poppin' blonde, and so when you tone them down, they're always like, oh, where are my highlights? You got rid of my highlights. So I love 10-3-6 for those guests who are like,
Yeah, you can have guests, I'll literally just use clear, and you took away my highlights. Okay, we won't do one for you again.
10-3-6 is good for that.
But I have a question. With the flash shades, the 5 minutes, are they truly only meant to be on for like 5 minutes? Or can we leave them on for like the 15, 20?
So they're really meant for 5 minutes. However, if you leave them on longer, you're going to get more like tonality. So if you're looking for a more silvery color, like I'll leave 10-8, which is a 10 blue on somebody a little bit longer, and you're just gonna get more of like that blue result left behind. But it works so rapidly.
Even with the other ones that are set for 5 minutes, because there's that small group, like I think 8-8 or 0-8-8 is in there for a 5 minute.
You're gonna get intensity of tone.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's it. It's just like a heavier dye load of like those very aggressive tones, like blues, right? That are like, you know, they can work in 5 minutes. They don't have to sit on nearly as long, and you can get exactly the result that you like. But if you leave them on too long, you risk, you know, having like bluish hair or green, depending on what you were trying to cancel out. So, so you do have to be a little bit careful of that. But I typically will choose like a tone that processes in 5 minutes. Like I go for the tin series a lot, because I'm just trying to get them done in 5 minutes or less. And I like not spending a lot of time with people. Like it's like quality over quantity or whatever with me. I'm like, I don't mind if our service is like an hour and a half, but if it's like 4 hours, I'm ready to like drop.
Especially by the time you get to the shampoo bowl, like I'm over it.
Yeah, like what are you talking about while you're foiling for like 2 hours, and then you get to the shampoo bowl and you're like, just be quiet, and then you're like, good, 5 minutes, you know, like 1, 2, 3, and then you're like, okay, you're done.
Yeah.
So I love the 5 minute for that. I hate hanging out at the shampoo bowl, and I'll see some of my stylists too, because you're doing like Wellaplex number 2 and let's do a treatment and all this stuff, and that's great. But if I can shorten that time and maximize like my ticket, again, I'm looking to do that. I'm not looking to like add on so that we're spending another hour together. I'm like, what can be quick that we can add on to this service? And again, people pay for something to be quicker too. Like that is okay. You don't have to feel like, well, if I'm upcharging them, like they've got to spend more time with me, or I've got to, you know, do something special. Like people value their time and they want to be in and out. Like I only get matte black nails because I cannot stand to be sitting in the chair for longer than like 1 hour. I'm like losing my mind if I'm looking at my watch and it's like gone over an hour. I'm like, I literally only ask for the same thing every time. Y'all know me. Like just So I won't do designs or anything because my time is so important to me, and I'll pay extra like to get in and out. Like I don't even care how much it is. I just get my nails done, get me out of there. So I pay for time personally. So anyways, and then we have a really nice rose booster. So that one's really pretty because we have some really cute reds in Shinefinity. Oh, it's cute. It's pink. It is pink. It's rosé. We have used it for so many creative placements too. We put some in my daughter's hair and gave her like baby pink, and she loved it. We left it on somebody else's hair, like the bottom portion for breast cancer awareness, and we left it on dry hair for like an hour while foiling the top, and it was like the prettiest, like very deep pink. So on dry hair for like an hour, it was like super deep. It was really nice. So I'm really excited to see like the longevity of that one when she comes back. She's like, I don't even care if it stays there forever. I was like, okay, it looks like it's gonna be there for a while. But I love the addition of this booster because a lot of our reds in Shinefinity tend to be on kind of like the coppery side. Or there's a little bit of like that violet in some of the lower levels, but I really wanted a little bit more of a balance to, like a red violet balance, versus just being like orange or purple.
Yeah.
So this will help us add, adding to our reds to balance things out for sure. Cool. And then our mixing guidelines, it's a 1-to-1. You apply to towel, dried or dry hair. So in this instance, when we're talking about glossing, we really want to utilize this as quickly as possible at the shampoo bowl. So again, just like with that bottle applicator, I would choose a shade that's anywhere from like 5-10 minutes max. We shampoo the hair, and then there's no post-treatment needed here. Do you guys use the post-color treatment at the salon? Okay, cool. I like this too because it speeds up, again, that shampoo, like that shampoo service at the bowl. So we're not doing like the pH balancing at the end. You can even rinse this out and not condition. If you have those like fine-haired clients that don't like conditioner, this is great to use on them as a last step. Just make sure that you're rinsing it out 100%, like completely. So, cool. And then we have adaptable results, just like as something to touch on with Shinefinity. We can intensify with heat. There's flexible timing. So you're just gonna get more intensity with like 20 minutes versus 10 minutes. Cool. And then our flash glazes, we did talk about how to use those. And then who knows about the pH balance technology?
No, it's not fair.
What do you guys know about the technology of this?
I remember doing a test, and it like naturally lowers the pH as it processes. So that's why it like closes the cuticle down, and that's why it feels better.
Yeah. So the benefit of having a lower pH is the feel of the hair, right? And the longevity. So those are all talking points too whenever you're adding on your glosses. So I actually like whenever I'm selling Shinefinity as my gloss, like I'm like, okay, I definitely want to use Shinefinity on this person. It's typically for the care of their hair as well as like shifting the color or like doing something to enhance the color, right? So I'm like, this is actually a color that works as a treatment because it is closing down those cuticles, it's making the hair more slick, it's going to feel a lot softer. So anytime that you have like damaged hair, anything like that, this is a great choice as well. Cool. So basically the technology is that it starts out at a 6.5. What is neutral? Do you guys know? 7, right? What is hair at? What pH? 5, 5.5. It's like a 4.5 to a 5.5, that's correct. So anything above that's going to be slightly alkaline, right? So it goes on at a 6.5 and then it lowers to a 5.5 and then it stabilizes. So that's some of the magic of this brand. There are other brands that are acidic and then they just keep going down, down, down. And too much acid is also not great for your hair as well. It can affect like the manageability of it, the comb out, things like that. So this is really nice because it is truly like caring for the hair. Cool. And then Colortouch. So this is really cool because you can get more like vibrant, opaque results with Colortouch, right? It's still like ammonia free and low maintenance. And again, this can be used at the shampoo bowl, shampoo, apply, and this can be 10-15 minutes. I do suggest with Colortouch doing more of like that 15-minute mark to get full like coverage, opacity. And then we've got a great shade palette. This is great because it complements Colortouch Perfect. So anytime that you're doing like a gray coverage and you're like, you know what, we'll do like a quick little gloss at the shampoo bowl. You want to do something different to her hair, especially if you have, like, I have a lot of guests that they work out in the garden, they might be brunettes. We do like a touch up of their gray coverage, but then we shampoo out, I take them to the shampoo bowl and I might use like something in Colortouch that would be like maybe a level or two higher, so that if they've got those natural highlights from, let's say, playing pickleball, or I'm like, why is pickleball such a thing? I'm not from here, so I'm always like, I've never even heard of pickleball, so like, but it's a huge thing.
My mom plays every day.
Huge.
It's weird.
That's all I hear.
I've never.
Pickleball,
She was playing. Yeah. So they're gardening or playing pickleball, or I mean, 90% of people have a pool, right? So it's like you have those brunettes and they get these highlights, and it's like they kind of are digging like the little bit of a lighter look, but it's red, right? So this is a good opportunity to like take them to the shampoo bowl, you know, and do a gloss on them. So that's an easy sell as well. So, you know, when you're doing your consultation and you're like, hey, I see that your red is showing back through, right? We know these little keywords that they use. You know which clients hate to see red, right? So this is a good opportunity to like take them back to the shampoo bowl. You're like, you know what, we can tone it down, but I know you like how bright it is. You just don't want it to be red. So maybe they were, you know, level 5 here and now it's looking like a 7 orange. You can tone them with like a 7-stroke 1 right here at the shampoo bowl, and then they stay kind of bright, but they're not as orange, right? That's a great opportunity right there too, because they don't necessarily want to be, you know, if you pull that 5 all the way through, they're going to freak out. They're going to be like, oh, it's black now. So just from my own experience. So this is a great shade palette because there's so much to choose from. And then it's all so complementary to whatever KP shades that we're using as well. So we can stay very like on tone. And then we have a new bronze collection here too. So this is the Stroke 05 series. Have you guys gotten this?
Yes.
Yay! So this is good too because it gives a little bit of gray coverage as well. So if you are going to do, let's say, like a gloss at the shampoo bowl and you want to do a little bit of gray coverage or gray blending, this is a great series because it's a neutral red violet. So it just gives a little bit more of like that reddy tone. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. And our mixing is 1 to 2. Typically it's going to be pre-shampooed towel dried hair, roots to ends. And then if you'd like, you can do 10 minutes with heat, up to 20 minutes. Again, we're looking at like shampoo bowl, so cool. Regular numbering system. Do you have any questions regarding like the, okay, cool, cool. And then formulating. Who has formulating questions? I feel like you guys just need a break now. Yeah.
Everybody want to do like the hokey pokey for a little bit?
Turn yourself around. Yeah. Okay, cool. Does anybody have formulating questions just in general? Like if we were to choose a gloss for a client who comes in, like has anybody added on glosses before? Like do you feel, what is your comfortability right now with maybe adding this to your services? Who's like the add-on queen here? Anyone? You guys are all tanking it right now. Like your
Brenda
add-ons.
always adds on.
It's
What would you say is, like, how do you feel so comfortable adding on services? Like, what is your secret?
So I know the benefits of it, so when I'm talking to my guests, and I always have the consultation with them at the beginning, and sometimes I'm like, your ends are actually looking pretty good, or no, the ends aren't looking so great today, and I don't have any problem telling them, like, I'm feeling this is a little dry. What do you think?
Yeah.
Like, is this bothering you? Like, I just kind of make my observation when we're sitting there talking, and we kind of make the plan before we even start. It's not like I get everything on and then at the shampoo bowl try to add it on. Like it starts at the beginning of the service.
I agree. I feel like when you add on at the shampoo bowl, then you sound like a salesman. You're like, oh, and by the way, we have these choices, you know, right? Like, here, look in my, like, look here, do you want to buy a watch? Like, this is what it sounds like, versus whenever you're having a consultation with your guest and they're actually like, you know, my hair is a little bit dry, or I'm not liking how like red my hair looks right now. They're already telling you they want a solution. So it is our job to educate them on it, like what the possibilities are like here at the salon. They wouldn't be sitting in your chair if they didn't want to know, you know, and it's up to them. Most people are comfortable saying no if they're like, price difference, not really digging it, maybe next time. Because you can also plant the seed for next time as well. If they're like, okay, well, I'm just gonna deal with it this time. It's, you know, even if they're like, not spending as much right before Christmas, they're gonna think about it into the new year, right? They're gonna go, okay, well, it's time to finally spend a little extra money on me. You said that this glossing service would be great. I even, do you guys record notes on your clients, guests, whatever you call them? Yeah. I usually will put in the notes after somebody leaves, like, suggested a gloss. She said that maybe next time she would like that. So like if they tell me like, no, not today, but actually next time let's talk about it, I'm like, next time we're talking about this. And then I'll bring it up again and be like, hey, you know, I know last time you said that your hair was a little bit dry. Did you want to try that gloss today? I was thinking, because then like I was thinking about you, and a shade that would look great on you is, you know, and then give some ideas. Or I know you've been wanting to change your hair. A gloss is a low commitment way to actually like change your hair color. How about trying this? Or I know you wanted to try red. This is going to be, again, low commitment, right? So these are just some things to like think about. Cool. And y'all are to the end anyways. So this is the point where we're gonna like get up and stretch, and we're gonna do like a little bit of a hands-on formulating. Okay, so I want you guys to do me a favor and pair up. Okay, and what we're gonna do, or do we have mannequins, or do you want to do?
Was everybody able to bring a mannequin?
We have tons of mannequins too. If not.
Okay, you have tons. Okay, cool. So here's what I want you to do. You're gonna kind of like pair up. Each of you are gonna pull up a photo of a winter trend, and this can be like a winter trend that like you want to do or you want for yourself. Or actually, no, let's make it what you want for yourself. It can be different than what you would normally choose because you're not really going to be putting it on your head, right? So you pull it up, pretend you're a client. Here's the winter trend that I want to execute today. I want you to consult with your partner. So we want to talk about suitability as well. Right? This is why I'm letting you guys pair up, because you need to make sure that like skin tone is good or your end's dry. So I want you to diagnose each other and figure out what the best gloss would be for that person, and then execute it on a mannequin. And if you want, you can just do like a quadrant. So whatever formula you came up with, just do like a quadrant. And try to go outside your box. If you're like, oh, that's definitely in 743. or whatever, just make it a little different, you know? Like, this is your opportunity to like try something that you haven't done before. Because rarely do we get to like actually go outside of our box here. So awesome. So you guys go ahead and take like a little bit of a break, and then pull out your mannequins and we'll do this.
I did. I got this. I did.
So you were trying to go after that photo.
And then I changed my mind because then I saw this beautiful mannequin and said that looks fun. So here I did 5-stroke 0, 5-stroke 3, and 0, 5-stroke 3, 7, and just kind of mixed it, and that's what it came up with, and thought it was super pretty. And then in the front, I did a little, not a money piece, but just a little, I guess you call it, not a peekaboo, what would you call just a little piece in the front? I did 4-stroke 07 because I wanted it a little darker, because similar to that picture, there was just
And
a
that's
little,
on dry hair, 407.
it was slightly damp, like it, super slightly damp, but yes.
I'm shocked by that.
And then on the red side, I did 06 / 43, mainly just because I wanted to try a color that I haven't tried or seen yet, and learned the color line, and I'm obsessed with how they all came out.
They look good together.
I was also kind of thinking after I put the round on, it was like a Harley Quinn type of thing, which I'm also very much obsessed with. So, yeah.
So is this something that you could realistically see putting on somebody?
Maybe not the red, but yes.
I think the red could be good.
If I mixed it with something, maybe like if I mixed the 5 and the 4 and the everything.
How long did it sit on?
15 minutes. All 3 colors sat for about 15 minutes.
Remember we did 4
And it was
hour
super slightly damp.
I know,
Like
I
it was
feel like it's
probably
not that
more
dark.
dry
I
than
did.
wet.
I did 4 on your hair.
On me?
Dry. Yeah, one time and it did nothing.
I also have hard hair, remember?
Yes, I know.
Ken's puts me under a climbers on for 40 minutes.
So what are you guys seeing from this? Like, because I'm hearing
Not
a lot
the
of
picture.
questions. Like, what are you seeing from this that you're like, what's going on?
Was she blonde? Like that she
This.
covered that. So that's what it looks
Is
like.
what she was.
I mean, that's what you expect if you don't film. And you
Right.
move 70 levels.
And it wasn't like, I probably didn't saturate completely. It wasn't like a permanent color, so it didn't sit for 35 minutes. It was just to see what would happen on this hair.
Are you surprised at how light or how dark it is?
How light it is.
How light it is.
But thinking that was on that blonde hair, that makes more sense.
I mean, this
Yes.
is
In
where
15 minutes, that's crazy.
So if you think about somebody who's like, let's say this base, let's say that you have your overly blonde client and she comes in, she's like, I want to be dark, right? Like, I want to be, yeah. So
the floor is
Shinefinity,
definitely a little darker. If you can see, the floor is just slightly, but not by much. So you're right, it didn't get as dark. Sorry, what were you saying?
no, but what's really nice about, and I know you're like, oh, it needs to be filled. So when she comes in and she says, I want to be dark, and let's say this is Hannah, who you've been doing for 5 years, and she could never be blonde enough, and now she wants to be dark. Are you gonna fill Hannah and make her a level 4 or 5? No.
Well, we talked about that, how we could highlight it out and it would be pretty, right?
Well, so
Or the red.
Shinefinity is a great choice because Hannah might want to be blonde again in the spring.
Yeah.
Or she just saw this photo online and thought, oh, I want to go dark. And she's, you know her, she's going to change her mind, right?
I know you, girl.
Personally, I like Shinefinity because I feel like it's easier to highlight out than Colortouch. So Colortouch always kind of still leaves behind this, residue of color. Versus Shinefinity is a little bit more gentle, and whenever you highlight out Shinefinity, it tends to look a little bit more virgin versus going over something as opaque as Colortouch, just from my own experience. So it's sort of a safer choice if she wants to go dark, right? And this way she won't feel so dark when you put it on. She won't be like, oh my god, I'm so they think they're black. Yeah, it's like a level 5 light brown, and she's like, it's so dark. Like, they're so dramatic about it, right? Which can also be good if they want to go for ginger. Like, I want ginger hair, right? That red, and you're like, you'll never be blonde again.
Yep.
So this is just to give you some ideas and
I love
some
it.
new choices.
Fun.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, next. You want to do yours? And y'all can go together if you want.
Yeah, we kind of did, we were together. This front one was Hannah here.
Oh my
Here
god.
she is, yeah. I was like, Hannah's here somewhere.
Oh, really? Okay.
So here, you can pull up the Insta photo.
Yeah, so this is the inspiration photo.
So,
You guys
yeah.
want to look at it closer?
Beautiful.
And starting out was like this, yeah, like very highlighted. So we did, for the root here, we did like kind of a root smudge. We used Shinefinity 537. I let it sit for a good 15, and then we used Shinefinity 713 on her ends for 5 minutes. Looking at it though, I feel like we could have went darker, definitely.
Yeah.
But I love the blend, yeah, I do love the blend, all that. But yeah, in terms of the photo, I think we could have went darker. But I do love, root smudge. And then just 713 on her ends for 5 minutes.
Makes it look clean and healthy.
You're ready? This was my Insta photo.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
And then, so we did just straight 6, 4, 5 in CT. and it looked like a fire hydrant. So then I put 7-stroke 7 and 8-7-3 on top of it just to make it not as intense. And that's what we got left with.
So what would you have done next time?
Put the 7 in from the get-go.
I feel like it. And it's going to depend on your base, right? Because what we were thinking was if it were to go on your hair, a 645, you've already got some like brown tones in there. This mannequin had highlights in it that were, you know, clearly like level 8, 9-ish. Yeah. So that red's going to pop right on top of there. So it's just a good something to think about whenever you're choosing what colors you're going to use. If she's got a lot of highlights and she wants redder tones, you might want to brown it out a little bit or neutralize slightly so that you can come up with a color that's just a little bit more of a muted red, so it just doesn't go fire hydrant on you.
Right.
Okay. Cool, good job, guys. Yeah.
Nice.
What do we get next?
Anybody?
No, you're good. You do enough. You do enough.
I had my hair done.
Cool. All right, cool. So we'll have them come back when
We
she's
just
done.
did Shinefinity 0, 10-stroke 0.
For 5 minutes.
For 5 minutes.
Very cool. So what are some of y'all's takeaways from this? Do you feel a little bit more confident with the color maybe?
I was just thinking, I feel like I wouldn't have to be so afraid to just do it, you know, trust the process, as they say. You know what your goal is, and then know what color you're going to put in. Like Hannah learned today what she would have done different, so it's like just kind of do it. You can always fix it.
Yeah, part of this job is becoming like a professional problem solver because inevitably somebody's hair is going to take differently than what you expected it to, or maybe it went really well on this client and this other client seems to have almost perfectly the same base and yet somehow it came out differently, you know? So it's like deciding, what do I do then? You went straight to like, oh, I'm going to go just a little bit lighter but with a stroke 7. So instead of going and completely browning it out with like a 6, since it was 645,
Right.
you chose something a little lighter and you use that based on what? Probably experience or
Just
practical
to see what would
thinking? Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because you probably were thinking if I put a 6, it's going to be too dark. And then, oh, I'm sorry. Actually, I was like, wait, it was you. I'm looking at this right over here, and I was just thinking about the 645. And you're like, yeah. So and she just agreed the whole thing.
Because
Yeah, that's what I did.
That's what I would
Took credit
do,
for
yeah.
it. Is that why you made that choice, though?
I did it just because, well, when I first looked at the photo, when we were talking about the photo in the beginning, I felt like it might have needed a little bit of a 7, but I just wanted to see what the 645 by itself would look like.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, give me 7.
And the idea is not to be perfect in the first shot either. Like, it is okay to be like, well, that formula didn't work out, or maybe you just wanted to see what it looked like, and there's nothing wrong with that because we're playing here. Like, the more that you guys can get comfortable with just playing around with different formulas and ideas when you don't have like a paying client in your chair, like the better you're gonna get too. So you guys are doing great having these opportunities here. And one of my favorite things to do is ordering swatches off of Amazon and just swatching out little formulas like in my downtime if I have it. I'm like, oh, let's try this one. And so I always like these sort of activities for that. Okay, last one. Show me your mannequin. Yeah, come over here. Tell us about it. Because you came up with a couple of different colors.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to like try it out.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't really like grab a lot of warms. I go for like a cool tones. So on the bottom here, I did 5, 3 Shinefinity, all Shinefinity, and then this at the ends was 673 and 973 equal parts, just to kind of see what that melt would look like. This here was a little bit of 838, and this was 1036, and this was only on for like maybe 10 minutes. That's why the 838 didn't grab as much, but this mannequin was like really
just there at the
just right there. That's 838. And then I have some bleeding on this side. This side, I did 9 stroke 07.
It's really pretty.
Which I want to see what that looks like dry, but I think it looks pretty wet. And then this front is 643 and then 834. So what I was telling you is I'm gonna do is like, obviously with those clients I kind of want to change it up a little bit. So what I want to do is, okay, I changed her up. Now I'm gonna see like what it looks like when I try to pull it out and try to get her back to blonde. So I just kind of made myself a color correction mannequin.
I love it.
So yeah, just kind of playing with it. I like
Now, I remember takeaway on the bottom while it was wet was it looked really violet. How
Yeah.
do you feel about it now that it's dry?
It's still has a little bit of a hue to it, but it's pretty.
It's not as violet as it
No.
was at the shampoo
Right,
bowl,
when I was
huh?
processing, no. It's still really pretty,
Yeah.
but
So
I
even
like
though
that
those are-
5.3 is really pretty.
Yeah, those are gold shades,
Mm-hmm.
but you put it over a very blonde mannequin.
Right.
So it tended to pull more in the ash direction because it's just got more of the ashy
Right.
base.
But
But it's good to know what what would happen, right?
yeah.
Like, yeah, be low light, but
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad low light color, for sure.
That front's pretty cool.
cool. Rock
You
star
just
vibes.
don't
Grass and Holly.
And I'll show you guys my mannequin too, so I didn't get to give you a good chance to see mine. This is an old blonde mannequin. She's dry, she's thirsty, right? But last night I was like, let's just do something different. So like she's even breaking off in some spots I wanted to show y'all. But I was like, okay, this is like a scenario that I feel like we get sometimes after summer where it's like, they come in and it's like, oh, it's not looking so good. So I used 2 different formulas, but they ended up looking kind of similar. This side was Shinefinity, so she ended up, we used 7.3 in Shinefinity, so it still retained, and I can even see a little violety hue here too, but she still retained like that nice, pretty depth, but it played off the natural highs and lows in her hair, and it's definitely like a lot shinier and more manageable, which was really nice. And then I did Colortouch over here in 8 stroke 05. So you see like just a slightly more reddish hue to it. However, like the feeling in the hair wasn't nearly as good as the Shinefinity. So like my takeaway from this was like, if I had somebody who is like, I want to do something a little bit different, I like the warmth of this. Like I like this color and tonality for her. But I loved the way that the hair was shiny and felt with this. So I'd probably try to make a Shinefinity shade that would be more of like that natural red violet, like this color, and play off of that, because I think this is the best for her hair, like as far as like how it feels and manageability. But yeah, it took pretty nice. That was my takeaway. Awesome. Do you guys feel like a little bit better about maybe adding this onto your services? Like can you see yourself like, I have some glasses on?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's get our ticket up.
Yeah, and honestly, my biggest takeaway is always just looking at your day before you like dive into it and just taking like some mental notes so that you know how to steer the consultation. Because people are looking for solutions and they're looking to us to fix it. Like any professional I go to, if I go to the dentist, like I'm not looking to be like, I don't know what's going on in my mouth, like, but if something hurts, like I'm expecting them to fix it, and it doesn't, like to me, it's just like, I came to you for the solution. It's your job to tell me like what would be best for me, and then what is my investment. So I think that's really important, just like anything, so. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being such a good group.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Do y'all need anything else from me? Questions, comments, concerns?
Your hair color. What do you use? Real quick, I'm actually very curious. You have so much going on.
Yeah, what's your placement?
Literally, you have like the base and then like the black.
We just redid my hair from August. Like I had it done early August and then nothing. So for a while I was a bleach and tone, right? So we were just using Blondor and whatever 20 like on my scalp. But my roots had gone so far, and I just don't like the way my hair feels because it's really fine. I am like a level 6-7, something like that. So I lift up pretty good. I'm not going that far. But I recently changed it to Special Blondes 12 stroke 8-1 to lift me. And like, I did take a picture because I have a class coming up on special blonde. So I was like, let's just do it to my hair. I did it to my daughter's hair too. So I started with that as a base. Like y'all can see how light my hair got. I mean, like I'm a 6.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
like
really
respectively like a 6. So
Oh, wow.
this was like how light my roots got.
Mhm.
I don't know. Because I know some
Super
people are
light,
scared of
yeah.
like the 12 series. So they're like, what's it gonna do? It was beigey and light. It looked like a, you know, like a bleaching tone.
How long would you leave it on for? Like an hour?
The full 50 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The full 50 minutes, no heat, nothing. I used double 40. Like,
Yeah.
and I was like, it feels fine. I did all my daughter's hair and I had to Maruba oil her and all that. And she's like, it hurts. I'm like, you're fine. So she can get over it. But anyway, so I did that first and then I ended up putting Danger Jones on it.
Danger Jones?
I
Yeah.
love Danger Jones.
I've been playing around with the Color Fresh Create for a while and I still haven't quite like nailed what I like out of that line. Sometimes I go in and I actually use Colortouch through here and then like I'm always battling blue on the ends. Like I don't know, like I prefer like this kind of like pinky purple color, but I think it's my water actually having like some sort of chemical reaction because like I will not even put blue in my base or anything. Like I'm literally like this every time, but like as my roots get longer, they just turn blue and I really think it's something going on with my water right now. So
It's really pretty.
yeah, because we tried to like detox it, pull it out, whatever. But I'll do like Colortouch like 10 stroke 6 and a little bit of 3, 6, 8 to create like a really pretty like purple. I do that sometimes. And then this is just 2 stroke 0 and Colortouch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
He's my healthy side.
Yeah, I just kept looking at your hair. I was like, wow, very nice.
Oh, thanks. don't look
So
too
close.
close because
Don't look too
it's like
close.
spotty.
Oh,
and-
man.
Yeah, it's part of the game whenever you have like a lot of fun colors going on.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. I'm like, well, it is what it is. So yeah.
I love the dark on your face.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, usually, yeah, I love that. Yeah.
I
don't
had-
know
Where
why.
are you having that last time?
Different.
No, I was just all bleached out. I had that white chunk for a little while, or like that blonde chunk, but then everybody's like, no, you should turn it black. So I did it, and then everybody's like, oh, I love that. I had dark hair forever and ever and ever, and then somewhere around the time I turned 30, I had like a midlife crisis or a quarter-life crisis or something, and so it's been purple for like a decade now, but I keep adding a little more. Thanks, that's really nice. Nobody ever asked about my hair, so. Yeah, thank you. Cool. Well, if y'all ever need anything from me too, I'm like super friendly on social. My only ask today is that you tell me how you did, each and every one of you. If you took a few minutes to like scan this for me and then send some feedback, that would rule. Because we do get, I don't know, brownie points or something for surveys. I don't know really what they do with it, but there's a place to put my name in there, and it's less about me and more about the education that you're getting, you know, so it's more like feedback, how we can do better with our classes. So if you guys could do that for me, that would be great. And that's it. And appreciate it. Yeah.